guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I want to talk about Nergigante Archer. I was fortunate enough to be able to summon this champion, and I absolutely hate that it's exclusive. I want to get this right out of the bat. I want to say this right away. The video, the title is pretty clear. I hate that this champion is exclusive, and the reason why I hate it is for two main reasons. One, she's so powerful for Hydra. I actually think she's a top 3 Hydra champion in the entire game. She's so good for Hydra. I'm going to showcase that in this video today, and I'm going to showcase you why she's so crazy powerful. So not only is she's really, really powerful, and making it exclusive means if you don't get her in the exclusive window, you're missing out on one of the best champions for one of the highest and hardest difficulty of content. I really hate that. The other thing that I really hate about it is the moment the exclusive period comes to an end, I'm never going to be able to mention this champion again in content, and it really makes me sad because it's such a fun and powerful champion. People should be able to get this champion permanently. It's a hero collector game. The fact you can't collect the hero in a hero collector game just feels awful, and it's such a powerful champion. I don't really care about the Ratholos Void champion. He's so terrible. I don't really care about him. If someone got him, congrats. They might rework him. Okay, I don't think they'll ever rework any of these exclusive champions because you're automatically going to have a bit of a PR issue when someone goes, well, you've just buffed this exclusive Void legendary that nobody can ever get to an almost like impossibly powerful state. It's never going to happen. So I'm not really worried about Ratholos, but this champion is so good for Hydra that I think locking it so that people can't get it is just unfair. It's not fun, and she's such a fun champion. I really hate the concept. It was the first thing when I saw the Monster Hunter thing that I really kind of kicked off when we were talking internally at HH Gaming. I was like, I hate the exclusive thing. I think it's such a bad mistake. I think it's terrible for the type of game that we've got here. But there's not much I can really do about it, and it really pains me. So I did want to get that out of the way because I know there'll be comments in the video here which are basically saying, well, it's great, you've got it, congrats, but nobody else can get it without wailing. I am on board with every comment that says it's unfair, and I agree with you. It should not be exclusive. 100% agree. So with that said, why is she so powerful? Well, the things you need in Hydra are decreased speed, hex. You need to provoke the head of decay so that it doesn't cleanse. It's very annoying when you do that. You need healing and you need damage, right? These are all the things. And this champion kind of gives you a bit of all of that in one go. Most people will run a dedicated provoker, something like a Bivald or a Morley or a Cantra, and then they have to run another Hex champion with it, or they run them in Cursed, but it's not as consistent. And you also then need to run a decreased speed champion, right? So you normally need 3 champions to cover these roles. Sometimes you can cover it in 2, like you could run a Morley and a Necmo that gives you a provoke with an increased speed, decreased speed, and a decreased attack. It's pretty good, but you still then need to go and find a Hex, or you need to put Necmo in Cursed, which is not the best set for him. You'd be better in Relentless or Provoke, for example. I know a lot of people run a Provoke Necmo. This champion kind of covers all of it in one. So we start with Rapid Shot. Attacks all enemies, places a Hex debuff for 2 turns and a Provoke debuff for 1 turn. But if it attacks a boss, the turn count increases by 1. So what we end up getting when you book this champion is a 3-turn cooldown, a 3-turn Hex, and a 2-turn Provoke. That is powerful. That means you can run a Hex and a Provoke champion together, and to be honest, you don't even need to book her right now. I've got her completely unbooked, and I'll show you how effective she is at controlling the Provoke head. It's so crazy. So you might be wondering, okay, that's cool, it's only a Hex and Provoke. Why is she so powerful? Well, Spinning Shot, surprisingly, is very strong. It attacks all enemies on a 4-turn cooldown. When booked, it goes to 3-turn. You do need to book this ability to get the 100% chance. If you're not attacking a boss, she's going to stun everything for 1 turn. And then the secondary effect is, if you have stunned them, she's going to decrease the turn meter by 20%. It's kind of like what Basatha does. He's a legendary from the Doom Tower. He stuns everyone and then drops the turn meter by 30%, I think Basatha does. It's very powerful because not only are you getting the stun, you're extending the duration of the stun by reducing the target's turn meter. It's very cool. But obviously stun doesn't work on bosses. So they've thought of this at Plarium and they've gone, okay, if you're a boss, I'm going to put decreased speed on an AoE for 2 turns. That's really powerful for Hydra because you want to slow the Hydra heads down, right? Decreased speed is one of the most important things. If you have it on a decapitated head, you're going to increase the time you can attack that head. That's going to increase your damage. You can slow down the decay head so that you can get back to your Provoke before the Provoke expires. You can slow down the Wrath head, for example, so you have more time to strip any Vengeance buffs that he's gained when he's procced his passive, his 15 counter. Decreased speed is almost like a mandatory thing that you need. But not only that, when you place a decreased speed, it's also going to fill the turn meter of all allies by 10%. Now, originally, I thought when I read this ability before we actually had a playtest that this would only do it once. I place a decreased speed, I get a 10% turn meter fill. It's not that crazy. What I've since discovered is this is per placement of a debuff. So if there are 4 enemies in Hydra, then you're going to get a 40% turn meter fill. So this kind of replaces the need for Necmo here because you're getting a decreased speed and a turn meter fill, which is kind of like what Necmo does, on top of the Hex and the Provoke. So we've got a solution for the Provoke head, we've got speed control, and we're boosting our team speed. Great. So you might be wondering, okay, well, now it sounds like it's a little bit more powerful, but does it really rise to the level of a 3-turn, extra turn Necmo Thar with decreased attack, leech, increased speed, decreased speed? Well, on the A1, we're going to have an attacks 1 enemy. It places an increased accuracy on the champion. Now, this is really good because it's for 2 turns on an A1 with a 100% chance, doesn't need books. So what that means is if you don't bring increased accuracy in the rest of your team, you can actually make the archer the mischief tank, because now you're going to have a buff that nobody else has. So not only is she now dealing with the decay head and slowing the Hydra heads down and giving your team turn meter boost, she's now actually dealing with the mischief head. So long as you can manage the buffs that she always has enough, you're dealing with that problem. That's really good. But then we go to the passive. It doesn't end there. It goes even crazier. And this is where she goes from really, really good for Hydra to one of the top 3 Hydra champions in the game, probably better than some of the ones that we think are the top 3. Whenever she attacks an enemy under Hex, she's going to heal all allies by 10% of their max HP. So it's not her max HP, it's their max HP. Now this works after testing, not just from when she attacks, but when Warmaster procs. So if you attack 4 enemies on an AoE, you're going to get 40% fill. But if 3 Warmaster procs on all of them, you're going to get another 30%. So actually, every time she uses an AoE ability, you could get somewhere between 40 to 80% healing across the entire team. And she attacks AoE 2 of her 3 attempts. So 66% of the time she's going to AoE. She becomes your primary healer in Hydra. So not only is she healing your team, she's boosting the turn meter of your team, she's slowing the Hydra heads down, she's provoking the head of decay, she's the mischief tank, and she's also got Hex. It's absolutely bonkers. She even increases her own defense whenever she gets attacked by Hex, so she makes her even tankier, and because she's a defense-based champion, it increases her damage output. She's a defense in dungeons, which you can't use in Hydra, but you can use everywhere else. Now, I have mainly focused on Hydra here, because Hex is pretty much a Hydra ability, but if you think about normal wave content, you're bringing a provoke for 2 turns and a stun. So you go through the sort of a 3-wave content, you provoke the first wave, you kill it, then you get to the second wave, you stun it. It's double provoke. It means that every wave content with this champion is resolved. You don't have any problems. Now, I've built her in a Relentless set. I've thrown her in some gear. We can see we're at 252 speed, 4.3k defense, 38k HP. I built her with some damage at 172% crit damage, and I've built her as a mischief tank with 442 resistance, and then I've got 195 accuracy. The accuracy is quite low because I'm using her increased accuracy buff alongside a accuracy aura for Mithrala in Hydra for 80. So we're getting 80 aura plus the boost. It should bring her up to the required accuracy. You can see here, I haven't maxed out all of her gear. I could still level this up. That might give me more speed. This might give me more crit rate or various different things. And we can obviously bring the ring. Now, it's very good if you bring a revenge or a counterattack in here, because that will just refresh this buff. It's a 2 turn, so you're going to have it up a lot of the time. But it will fall off if you do A3 into A2. So having a counterattack will help replace the 2 turn and keep it on all the time. I have set up a special mastery tree. It's a bit of a unique one. Because she heals so much, we actually want the Warmaster, because we want Warmaster to activate a passive, but we also want healing masteries. So I've taken Lay on Hands. This is going to heal her by 5%. It's going to increase all the healing by 5%. We also have the Healing Savior. So if an ally is low on HP, it's going to boost that healing a lot more. We also take Cycle of Magic because I just want to rotate the abilities quicker. And I've taken Lasting Gifts to try and extend the increased accuracy, because once you've got to this bottom row, you don't really care about kill streak because you don't kill anything in Hydra. You don't really care about sort of spirit haste because hopefully nobody's dying and it's not really that valuable. And sniper you don't care about because she does everything on 100%. I have taken Master Hexer because I would like to extend the duration of Hex and decrease speed. I want those durations on all the time, so it's nice to extend them. But otherwise, there's nothing else better. So you might as well take Lasting Gifts to try and increase the duration of the increased accuracy and keep it on you longer. We've then taken just this middle row of sort of extra increased accuracy and then Laura Steel just to improve any sort of bonuses from sort of a protection set if you get it or however you build it. It's always nice to have. So let me throw it into a basic Hydra team here, right? This is just something I've pulled together. I'm going to put it into Brutal just as a starting point because I haven't really optimized this Hydra team. I'm running the Mithrala Aura so that we have enough accuracy. I'm running Ratholos in here. He's our new login champion. And then I've got a HP burn, a decreased defense and weaken from Lydia. And I've also got a Mighty Uko in here as well, just to solidify the team and keep the team alive. So I'm going to show you how this works. She's unbooked right now. She's totally unbooked right now. So we can start with just an A1 Mithrala, and then once she gets a turn here, we can just throw out the block debuffs. We are going to get a provoke because Uko is actually in the build that I was using him before I got the Archer, but it's a one-turn provoke, but then we're going to throw this out. Now look at all the healing numbers you're going to see here. We've got an extra turn, which is great. This is why Relentless is really good. Now we got a turn meter boost. We've been able to apply decreased speed on two of them. Now she is not void, so she will weak hit. Got to be mindful of that. If you weak hit, that's going to be a problem. You won't apply the decreased speed. And if you don't apply the decreased speed, you won't get the turn meter fill. Then we can come in with Ratholos here and you can just beat up maybe this head, do a nice 228,000 damage boost there. So now we're going to boost out here and we can A1 in a minute. And once we A1, it should put her into the mischief target head here. So we can just A1 over here. Now you can see she's got 5 buffs. She's got more than anyone else. So as long as nobody else can buff here, we should always get mischief provoked. We are going to get unlucky and actually get a provoke here, which is a bit annoying. But we're able to cleanse all that off. So you can see we've got 6 buffs on our Nergigante Archer, but we only have 5 on everyone else. He's managed to get a refresh, so we can actually just kill this. Do 207, that's that AoE, really great damage. And we're just going to cycle through here. So you can see that we've lost a little bit of HP. But once we A1, double HP. We only attacked 1 target, but because the War Master's proccing, we got twice the amount of healing. It's very, very powerful. And you'll see, well, what we're going to do is I'm going to run this through to boss turn 20. And you'll see in just those short amounts of turns, how much healing she's actually going to do. We need to provoke, the 2-turn provoke is back out. We have Hex on for 4 turns. I don't even need Mithrala's Hex. I'm using her for buffs. I'm not using her for Hex anymore. Because this Hex debuff will never fall off with Nergigante Archer in Master Hexer. We have got some debuffs we need to get rid of here, which is quite annoying. We'll be able to see how much the healing is going to be now, because Tuor Messiah is about to die. So Tuor Messiah is in a really difficult position. This is where you'd be like, I need healing somewhat. Watch the healing on the Tuor Messiah, down the bottom left here. Right, we're going to zoom in. Watch the healing number when she AoEs. Look at the amount of healing. She's basically just full healed that champion whilst doing damage and applying decreased speed. And she's also given me a turn meter boost. So I'm going to get back around to those abilities as well. It's such a powerful kit. I can't... The more I have used this Nergigante Archer, the more I'm sitting here going, this is just terrible. It's exclusive. It's going to upset so many players. And it's totally unfair. It's so powerful. I don't mind exclusive champions being a daily login. I don't like it, but I don't mind it because at least everyone who was playing at the time can get it. Like Ratholos. You won't be able to get Ratholos after the event, but at least everyone who was playing right now has been able to get Ratholos for this duration of this event. But with the Nergigante Archer, if you don't summon this champion, you're never going to be able to use this champion again, which is really unfair. It's very painful. So we're just going to go through to boss 20. We've got 5 more to do, and we're going to see what her final damage numbers are for healing and damage. Now remember, she is unbooked right now. Oh, Ratholos has decided to jump forward. Ratholos is getting right in the enemy there. Look at him go. Oh, he's done a dart back. No idea what happened there. But she's not booked in this build. And you can see I'm not even struggling to keep the provoke head. This is brutal Hydra. Okay, it's not nightmare, but it's pretty high, you know. It's pretty high up. She's not struggling at all to keep this Hydra head, this provoke head there. There's that mischief tank coming through, really nice because the increased accuracy gives her a differential. You'll notice as well, I'm not using Ratholos's A3. When he uses his A3, it kind of causes a problem because he's going to gain the crit damage buff that nobody else has in this team. Now, this is getting into a nice setup. And now the nice thing is, with this, we can actually get a really big Ratholos damage, hopefully. We can see the true power of Ratholos if we have his A2 back with the 5-hitter. I don't know if we're going to get it. Let's see if we can get it. Is it going to do the number? I can't really remember what Ratholos track we're on. There it is. A big chunk of damage there. 16 million. Really nice. This is the kind of like the setup you want for Ratholos. You want all of these heads dead. You want Hex and HP burnout. It's really, really powerful when you get these damage numbers. We can pump some numbers here. There's a 1.5 million for Tumacia. We've kind of gone over a little bit. I'll go to turn 25 just because we are still cycling through. You can see Relentless is absolutely... Relentless and Merciless is how I would build her. She's absolutely powerful for both of those things. You want her taking more turns. The more turns she takes, the more she's going to heal. 1.8 million. That's the 5 hit that I was hoping we'd have on the last turn. That's his A1, 1.8 million. I was hoping we'd have that on the last turn, but unfortunately we didn't. One more turn on the boss, and then we'll see what the kind of like the healing numbers are, and also the damage numbers. Considering she's not even max level yet. There's the boost again. You can see we're never really struggling for health. We have no other form of healing in this team. There's no leech. There's no continuous heals. There is literally no other healing in this team. We are exclusively relying on Nergigante Archer to heal us. That is the only source of healing we have. Let's end it here on turn 25. How much damage? And this is just a simple test. So we can see the Blademaster's done 9.3 million damage, as we'd expect. He's the highest one. But she's pumped in 3.4 million. One, because she's got Hex. Obviously, a lot of the damage from from the Blademaster is going to come from the Hex component as well. But she herself does pretty decent damage. She's a pretty good damage dealer, which is nice because Nekmuthar, for example, doesn't deal damage. Morley doesn't deal damage. So you can bring a Provoke and a Hex option that does damage. But look at the volume of healing. Like I said, there is no healing in this team. I think Tumacia probably healed from a Life Drinker. She's the exclusive healer in Brutal, and we were never dying. She kept everyone fully healed, completely unbooked. She's not even awakened. She's not +4. She's not level 60. This champion is God tier. She's absolutely amazing, and it's a absolute travesty that she's an exclusive champion. So that's a Hydra test, but let me just show you how she could be really good in Spider, for example. We'll just take her into a Spider 20 run here. I'm just going to run this sort of setup here. Let's just take out these. Just make sure that we can do some damage to the boss. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Let's bring Folger, for example. We'll just run this test here with these three champions. So the great thing about this champion is going to be we can just do this drop turn meter. Now we obviously are not booked, so this would not be as reliable. If we were booked, then everyone would have been stunned. That wasn't the case, which was very difficult. Now we can just run some Ratholos. He's actually negative affinity. I picked the really difficult stage. But now we can also bring a Provoke if nobody got stunned. And this is where it's now crazy because you can see we can actually control the waves and deal with... We got 2 forms of CC. So if you haven't got her booked right now, you've got 2 forms of CC. We could just AoE again just to keep killing the spiderlings until we get back around to the A3 again. So you can probably permanently keep the spiderlings under control. But the really nice thing, hopefully we get an extra turn that I can showcase the actual thing I was looking to showcase. The really nice thing about the A2 is the boss is obviously immune to turn meter drop, which is a problem. We could just drop this here a second. The boss is obviously immune to stun debuffs. You can't apply the stun. But what you can do is drop the turn meters of all... So stun and drop the turn meters of all the spiderlings, and then apply a decreased speed and fill your turn meter by 10%. Now, it might not work because it's a 2-turn. So unless we get a Master Hexa proc, we won't get a turn meter fill here. So you can see boost. We didn't get the turn meter fill because it was already there. But look how much control she could give you if she was booked. We kind of low rolled that, which is kind of insane. We only had 2 out of all of those 10. So much for 75%. So absolutely, if you needed to use it for this role, you would absolutely need to book her. But you can always follow up with a wonderful 1-turn Provoke. And because she's tanky, she's defense-based, she's going to be able to keep herself alive if you put her in a little bit of healing as well. But even then, even if you don't put her in healing, what can we do? We can attack a Hex target and heal up back again. She makes an exceptional spider tank because you attack the Queen, you get a Hex out, you just keep healing. Heal again, we fully heal the team. She is insanely powerful for this type of content as well, just like healing the spiderlings. And you can throw this in any concept for any wave content that you need to. She's going to take a bit of damage here, so we can actually throw this out. Obviously, there's no Hex out, but there you go. There's a better control there. You can see we've actually pretty much done everything. If we haven't, we're going to get more turn meter out, and now we can Hex and we can heal back up. Nergigante Archer can absolutely carry any account here. We actually healed a lot from Folger because she was healing on her A3. But this also works as well when you're in something like Doom Tower. You can take her into Doom Tower. We can carry her up to sort of some of the higher difficulties in Doom Tower, maybe 93 up here. So we can take this type of wave content. I've put the accuracy aura in because she doesn't have accuracy. She's not built for it, but you could build her for accuracy. we can basically stun these out here. Throw this out. We got 1 provoke, but what we're going to do is we're going to provoke wave 1. We're going to put Hex out. So we have a 1 turn provoke right now. Then we can basically spend our time killing it. If she does get attacked, it's not a problem because she's increasing her defense all at the same time. We've got a built-in resistance, so we couldn't do it. So if we wanted to now, we could stun. I'm actually just going to AoE and save my stun for the next turn because I know I've got a decreased speed here. And we're just going to kill this wave out. So we've basically meant that both of our damage dealers, these are squishy damage dealers. Both Vlad and Constantine have no gear for defensiveness. They are glass cannon. Their job is to basically kill people here. So if they take a hit from a couple of enemies, they are going to die instantly. And she's stopping that happening. There's that damage I was talking about. That was just a Lissandra A2. She doesn't even hit that hard. So let's just kill this out. So obviously there's only 1 hit, you'd cycle back. We can get to wave 2. If you were auto-win this and you could one-shot wave 1, you could literally just open with A2 instead. So for example here, we can open with the A2, stun them all, drop them down. Obviously we're not booked. That's the only thing you would need books for. You would absolutely need to book them for this. But you can see the stuns are out here. We can just put the fear out. Drop another A2 from Constantine. And we can clear this wave. But you can see she's pretty much controlling the wave for us. Allowing our damage dealers of Constantine and Vlad. There's that damage I was talking about. If he takes a few hits, he's dead. Now, we do have a revive with Mighty Uko, but it can be very frustrating on some waves if you can't keep your damage dealers alive. When we get to wave 3, what she got back again, she's probably got her A3. So we can do this. Throw out this for block buffs, and we can just stun and get Hex out. But the nice thing about Hex here is you've got wave content. So even though Hex is pretty powerful, everyone knows Hex is really powerful for Hydra, it's actually really good here as well. We did take a couple of freezes. They did kind of chunk her a little bit, which is a little bit disadvantaged because we can't actually attack. She does need to attack to heal back. But hopefully we can get back around to her without her dying. With a bit of luck. Nope, she's going to absolutely take a massive amount of damage. This Lissandra transferring debuffs is a bit annoying. Because now we've got a block active. But we should be able to revive back with Uko in a moment. But she's basically given us a good amount of time. Lissandra is doing a number on us with the transfer and the debuffs. Poor Uko cannot take a turn. Oh, Uko's dead. Okay, so we can't really get her back. I mean, this is a pretty nasty wave because we're kind of punishing ourselves by bringing block active skills with the amount of times Lissandra keeps sending the debuffs back to us. Because obviously she transfers all debuffs back to you. But that's an example of what you can do to control the waves. Now that wasn't very successful because I probably need to optimize it. But you can see the healing output. She's healing more than Vlad, and Vlad is healing off leech. She's able to do, pretty good damage as well. The Hex will add damage to it. So just to wrap up the video here, Nergigante Archer, I really hate that she's exclusive, but she's absolutely insane. She's top tier. For me, she will probably replace both Nekmothar and Morley in my Hydra team, opening up a spot for another damage dealer. It opens up more flexibility for different options because you've got a champion that condenses all of the power into a singular kit. So I've got the Hex, I've got the Provoke, I've got the decreased speed, I've got a Mischief tank. Now all I need to do is flesh out with a bit of survivability, maybe like some Strengthen, some damage buffs and damage components, maybe some max HP, maybe I bring a Newt, maybe I bring in something like a Tumacia, maybe I bring in the Blademaster. But it means I've got 5 spots to fill very few roles, where if you have to bring Morley and Nekmo, you're running out of slots. You're running out of things that you need to basically make this work. She doesn't bring any primary debuffs like decreased defense, decreased attack, or weaken. So you've got to keep that in mind. If you drop Nekmo for her, I do have to replace the decreased attack for the Wrath Head, otherwise he will do a lot of damage. But decreased attack tends to be more available than a Provoke with a Hex or an AoE decreased speed and all these different components and the healing component. So there you go, guys. Nergigante Archer. I guess I hope Plarium might reconsider. It's a bit of a false hope, a bit of a pointless hope. I know they're not going to make this non-exclusive. But this champion is just too powerful to be an exclusive champion. She's too good. Exclusive champions should be good, but they shouldn't be game-changing. And this champion is game-changing. If you pull this champion, she would carry any account, early, mid, late, endgame, Hydra, wave control, Doom Tower. She'd carry every single account. She'd be in every single team that you would build if you're in the early to mid game because she just does so much control. She solves your spider problem. She solves your dragon wave problem. She solves Ice Golem waves problems. Those Ice Golem waves that have Shriek and all those things. Well, she can stun them and provoke them. She's a healer. She keeps your team alive. She isn't very good for Fire Knight, to be fair, because she only attacks once. So she's not the best for Fire Knight. She wouldn't be very good for things like Sand Devil, Iron Twins. I mean, she can do Iron Twins because she does decrease speed, I guess. So she could be quite good for Iron Twins to heal you back up. Hex isn't so crazy because it doesn't do much and you don't really need Provoke. So it's kind of like forcing a champion into a team. You wouldn't build it for it, but it can do it. And the only thing I would say is it's not very good for Clan Boss. But if you need to stay alive in Clan Boss, then it's a lot of healing. But Clan Boss isn't decreased speed. It's not really designed for that. But you take away Clan Boss, you take away some of the very niche endgame dungeons. Doom Tower. Probably if she's available in Curse City, she'll be the first picked on your team in any team that you build in Curse City if she's available for one of the restrictions. Purely because Curse City is all about control and she gives you abundance of control. She's just S tier. Really, really crazy. I think I'm going to have to go and review her ratings on the website because I think they're probably underwhelming for what she can do. So there you go, guys. Nergigante Archer. Plarium, please make it not exclusive, or at least give us some guaranteed options. Please make that summon pool achievable. Give us a couple of Prism summon pools if she's going to be in it. Don't make it like whale heavy because she's too good for people to miss out on. She's just, that's the case. And it shouldn't be something that people need to remortgage their house to get. That's what I would like to leave it with. I hope if you have got Archer, you're really having a lot of fun with her because I think there's so many different team options you can have with her. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for Hydra this week. I've not got much time left to do it, to figure out how I'm going to put her in. So we'll see how that goes. But there you go, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.